để lâu chưa anh?
Xe anh để lâu rồi từ Covid hay giờ không có khách đâu rồi.
Thế à?
Không để mình.
Vâng. Để em xem. Phải cắt cái cột ngon hết chưa anh? Xe này trước anh chở gì anh?
Trước anh đi chở học sinh đi học.
Vâng, thế anh để lại cho em nhá. Em sẽ sửa lại.
There are things people throw away, but for others, they become life-changing opportunities. An old car, covered in dust, left sitting for years in a forgotten corner. In many developed countries, where economies are strong and living standards are high, vehicles like this are considered worthless. They are often sent straight to scrapyards, dismantled, and recycled, quietly ending their life cycle. But in developing countries like Vietnam, the story is completely different. Here, an old car is not simply junk. On the contrary, it can become something many people actively search for. The reason is simple. The price is affordable for a large portion of the population. When average income is still limited, owning a brand new car is not easy. Meanwhile, the demand for transportation, business, and daily travel continues to grow. That's why used cars have become a practical and reasonable solution. Moreover, Vietnam did not strongly develop its automobile manufacturing industry in the past. Most vehicles had to be imported or assembled, which came with various taxes and additional costs, making car prices relatively high. This has made the used car market more active than ever, and right there, opportunities begin to appear. In the middle of this promising market, a young woman saw something that not everyone could see. Instead of simply buying and selling, she chose a more challenging but rewarding path, searching for old cars, even those considered nearly useless, and restoring them with her own hands, turning them into complete, beautiful, and fully functional vehicles. This is not just a job, it's a journey of patience, skill, and passion. She not only has a sharp business mindset, but also possesses impressive mechanical skills. Tasks that are often reserved for experienced technicians, disassembling engines, repairing the chassis, repainting the entire body, restoring the interior, she handles all of them carefully and professionally. Have you ever watched videos like this? The feeling of seeing a rusty, worn-out car slowly come back to life through each stage is incredibly satisfying. Every small detail is cleaned, every part is repaired, every fresh coat of paint is applied, all coming together to create a truly remarkable transformation. And today, she begins a new project. A newly purchased old car, worn down, covered in dust, with many damaged parts. At first glance, most people would probably shake their heads and think it has no value left. But to her, it's a rough gem waiting to be polished. To acquire this car, she spent about $500. Not a huge amount, but certainly not small if the restoration doesn't go as planned. However, with her experience and confidence, she understands the true value of what she's doing. If everything goes according to plan, once the restoration is complete, the car could be sold for around $1,500. That means she could make a profit of up to $1,000 from this single project. But that money doesn't come easily. Behind it are hours of continuous work, sweat, intense focus, and unexpected challenges. Let's take a look at how she begins her work. First comes cleaning and thoroughly detailing the car. It may seem like a simple step, but it is extremely important. Only after removing all the dirt, grease, and long accumulated debris can she accurately assess the car's true condition. Her movements are quick, precise, yet incredibly careful. Every corner, every small gap is cleaned meticulously. There is no rushing, no cutting corners. That level of professionalism makes all the difference. Watching her work, you don't just see a mechanic, you see someone who truly loves what she does. Someone who can turn what seems worthless into something valuable. Someone who dares to think differently, act boldly, and create her own path. It's hard not to feel impressed. If you also admire her work and her spirit, don't hesitate to give her a like. After nearly 2 hours of carefully cleaning and inspecting the car's entire electrical system, she finally moves on to a more critical step, attempting to start the engine. No rushing, no impatience. She slowly pours fuel into the tank, double-checks all the connections, then gently turns the key. In that moment, anyone watching can't help but feel a sense of anticipation. Will a car that has been asleep for so many years finally wake up? But reality isn't that simple. The car remains silent. No sound, no sign of life. With her experience, she quickly realizes the problem. After such a long time sitting unused, the ignition system has most likely failed. This isn't surprising. In older cars, spark plugs, the components responsible for creating the spark that ignites the fuel, are often among the first to wear out. That's probably where the issue lies. Without hesitation, she begins inspecting each spark plug carefully. Signs of wear, dirt buildup, even damage become clearly visible. This only confirms that her assumption is correct. To bring the car back to life, replacing all the spark plugs is almost necessary. It's not an overly complicated task, but it requires patience and precision. Even a small mistake can prevent the engine from running smoothly. And with a car this old, everything must be handled with extra care. If this were in the hands of someone without patience, they might have already given up. Seeing the car refuse to start, they would likely assume it's completely useless. But this young woman is different. To her, there is no such thing as impossible. Every problem is simply a challenge waiting to be solved. Every difficulty is an opportunity to prove her ability. After replacing the spark plugs, she carefully checks the entire system once again. Every small detail is inspected to make sure everything is in the best possible condition. And then, the decisive moment arrives. She turns the key one more time. This time, a familiar sound breaks the silence. The engine begins to breathe. It's still weak, but full of hope. The car is finally responding. She doesn't stop there. She continues adjusting, checking, and supporting the system until the engine runs more smoothly. And then, the car truly comes back to life. The engine sound becomes clearer, more stable, more powerful. A vehicle that once seemed completely dead is now able to run again. This is not just a technical success. It's a moment of revival, a miracle created by knowledge, skill, and perseverance. Looking at the result, it's hard not to feel impressed. Behind that engine sound are countless hours of effort, focus, and determination. She has proven that with enough determination, nothing is impossible. An old car can come back. Something that once seemed worthless can shine again. And someone who dares to follow their passion can create something extraordinary. You have to admit, she is truly talented. What about you? Do you have any words of praise for her?